You want to know what guys really think and talk about behind closed doors? Look no further. Welcome to the Other Guys Podcasts. You'll most likely be offended, but you'll probably laugh too. So, enjoy. Welcome to the Other Guys Podcasts. I'm Kevin, and tonight...
Hello, Kevin.
Hello. I'm with a couple people today.
Sup, boy?
Yeah. I'm with Mr. Kirk Hicks.
Yes.
And I'm with Murray. And we also have Khalid the intern today. Khalid's here. Say hi, Khalid.
What's up?
Yeah, there we go. You know, he's learning. He's coming along.
Yes. Excellent. I gave him a Lara bar, so now he's more agreeable. He came in and he was pretty...
I gave him 2 pounds of edibles, so we'll see how he...
That's too much.
Not for a guy... Not for him, man. He'll take it.
You ate 2 pounds of edibles? Like, would you ever recover from that? You would lose your mind. You would be like,
not Khalid. He's built a tolerance over the years.
I don't know, man. That's a lot. It's like they give you like, oh, here's 25 milligrams. They're like, and I'm like, oh fuck, in like half an hour. So like, extrapolate that like times 1,000. Yeah.
To him, he's like, what?
That's it. Anyways, you know what? This might tie into Khalid's highness. But Khalid, you like video games?
Yeah, I don't mind games.
Yeah? Okay. Kirk, you like video games?
Yeah, I like to play games.
And Murray, as being the elder gentleman / father in the room, do you like video games?
Yeah. It's I don't get to play as much as I'd like right now, but definitely.
Right. So, okay, just to get us landscape of what type of gamers we're dealing with. Favorite video game and why?
No, I don't know if I have a favorite.
Well, you have to
like
have.
Nobody has. I know a lot of people they would never have a favorite because
one game that's
because like it depends what console.
Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, exactly.
3.
No, exactly.
Mario Brothers 3.
Yeah, if you want to say what's your favorite game on like what was that, Super Nintendo or original Nintendo?
It's original Nintendo and Super Nintendo. They re-released it.
Original Nintendo. I do like Super Mario 3.
I like the original one, not the one in the Super Nintendo.
You know, but then you want to go like Super Nintendo, and it's like, okay, well, fuck, there would have been a game on that I can't remember. Then you want to talk like what, GameCube or like I don't know, or Xbox, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3.
What video game consumed the most time in your life? Where you were like, listen, I logged in serious fucking hours. I know for most people it might be Call of Duty. Maybe for a young Khalid here over here, maybe it's Clash of Clans or Fortnite.
I don't know, man. You know? Probably some sports game, Call of Duty sports game, you know? Right. Like,
I've been playing the new Zelda for the last year, and I've logged... I'd say at least 250 hours because I played the first one without really a guide. I just loved just to roam all over it. And then I got the DLC and I finished all that. And then I started playing. Well, the other part of the DLC is you can play it in master mode. So it's the much harder version of the game. Not that much harder. All the enemies are harder. It's pretty much the same game.
What are you playing it on?
Just the Switch. Nintendo Switch.
Well, not just the Switch, so the Switch. Because if you said just a Wii, then it's just a Wii. Because the Switch is the new hotness.
Well, it's on the Wii U as well. I also have a Wii U.
I also have a Wii U.
It's probably, one of the...
I do not have a Switch.
Yeah, the Switch is definitely good. I like it a lot.
I got a Xbox One and a PS4.
Mm-hmm. I previously owned an Xbox One and I sold it because I was just collecting games that I wasn't playing. And then I got a Switch, and I kind of had like a Switch, Wii U, Xbox One, and a Nintendo 3DS. And I got rid of the 3DS and the Xbox One because I'm like, I gotta I don't need all this shit.
Yes, you do.
Well, I just felt like I was just collecting stuff that I wasn't ever gonna get around to playing, so I had to make a choice. And I started playing Zelda, and I wasn't sure at first if I liked my Switch at all because it was like a big deal when it came out. So I got mine in June last year, and people were like, "Oh, Breath of the Wild, like a 10 out of 10
People
game.
who don't know, Zelda is a game. It came out like a year ago. People really like it.
Well, Zelda's been around for a while, though.
But
Well, yeah, it's like a continuation, or it's like part of the Zelda franchise.
It's like the first-
And Kirk is playing the shit out of it.
It's like the first true like open world like modern take on a Zelda game.
Yeah.
So like
Okay,
I don't know,
so Zelda.
yeah, I mean like, but it's like Zelda wasn't always typically this like, unless like the first one on NES where it was like just go find stuff to do. But
No, but so Zelda.
yeah, it's Zelda. But I'm just saying that's the difference is it's like if you're
No, not the difference. So your favorite game is Zelda.
No, I wouldn't say that. I like Super Mario Brothers 3.
So Super Mario Brothers 3.
That's why I mentioned that before.
Okay.
I was just saying that
one is
like,
a child, impression, and one is like him at an
No.
older age.
the thing is though is that every console
Go
I've
and
had-
replay Super Mario 3. It's not going to be your favorite game anymore. You're going to be nostalgic about it.
No,
and
it's still my
be
favorite.
Like,
it's
you know
still
what?
the best.
No, Kirk's a very simple because Kirk. When I say game,
There's simple, and then there's being a child.
I'm gonna spit some games at you.
No, Super Mario Brothers 3 is legit hard to beat all the way through.
I'm gonna spit some other games at you. Metal Gear Solid.
I never played
Doesn't
that.
do anything. Grand Theft Autos.
Not really.
Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, I have that.
Okay.
There's Red Dead.
Good game. I wouldn't say it's.
I have it on 360.
Far Cry's. Any of the Far Cry's?
No,
It's just Assassin's Creed.
No. Okay. Okay.
I like. I played a lot of Halo. And I like what else? I played like Call of Duty.
Duties? You played the
Yeah, I
Call of
played
Duty?
some Call of Duty. It's not really my favorite,
Yeah.
but like I prefer Halo as a shooter more. That's why I got.
What game have you played the most in your existence?
I guess I have to say Breath of the Wild, but like it's only because I've had the ability to check how many hours I've actually played.
Yeah.
But
So
like I remember
would
you were saying sports games. That comes pretty close to like some NHL games I played because I would like win the cup as the Maple Leafs and be like, yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that again.
No,
And so you-
exactly.
and
And that's
so
what
you
I'm
can-
saying.
you just-
Over the years,
you
2000
play,
go from year to year to year, and then it's like, okay, I
and you
played
played
5 years of baseball.
Well, I played like
I played PGA Tiger Woods like 5 years in a row, like for like a lot, and then it's like, okay, so it's different sport and NHLs and whatever, and FIFA. You throw FIFA in there for me.
I would even say
So
Mario
NBA 2Ks.
Mario Kart comes pretty close because I had the same Mario Kart game on the Wii U, Mario Kart 8, as I have on the Switch. Basically the same game, and I've beaten all of it, but both games. But also, I played both of them online when I had like the other one. So now I still once in
There's
a while.
only so much Mario Kart I could play, man.
I mean, I think finding the online play is like, I mean, you can battle online and play like the races online. It's like it's something I do every once in a while, just to like It's way. It's
no,
like,
me too. But it's like
'cause,
I
like, you
couldn't,
can't-
like it's not a thing for me.
Well, every time like I have that feeling that I'm like, oh, I'd like to play, and I don't have someone around to play with because it's a great couch co-op game. But then if you don't have people around, then you're like, I can just
No,
jump online.
all my gaming is done solo. Like unless I'm connecting to
Yeah.
with people online. But even then, like the people in my friends list, they don't have the same games, or like we're not playing the same shit. Like if I get a spare minute now, I'm playing golf.
Yeah. Well, the best thing about having a Switch, I think, was that like I remember I'd go to work and I'd have
Like
it.
golf on Xbox, not
Mario Life. Yeah.
Well, yeah, the Switch is cool because
And I
like,
moved
I can
from FIFA
take
to
it.
that.
I can take it with me. And there's technically two controllers on either side.
No, I know.
So you just give it to somebody else and you play along with them.
You're
And it's
talking more
like-
about the console, though.
Yeah, I'm just saying like
Okay.
that enhances
Okay.
that enhances the games that you play because then like you're saying
Oh,
like,
for sure,
you're
yeah,
saying
if
a
I
lot of
can
times you're
carry it,
stuck
yeah,
you're
yeah,
stuck
yeah.
alone. I'm not alone. I can go out somewhere and all of a sudden like I have it and someone's like, oh, you have like ARMS or you have like Mario Kart or something, and I'm like, here's a controller, we can play together.
Yeah.
That like enhances the experience way more.
So
No,
I feel
that's
like
cool.
if Kirk was on an island, Super Mario 3 would be the game you're taking with you.
It's just the best game.
Okay. So
I think
that's his favorite game.
legitimately I'm gonna go into the ring and say
Yeah.
it's the best game of all time.
Okay, that's for you. For me, growing up in that era, the best game. There's two games, but for me, the game that like blew my fucking mind, changed my world, was Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. The first time I popped that in, and the first thing you do in that game is ride a fucking bicycle. I lost my mind. I was like, holy shit!
Yeah, I remember.
I'm
You're
riding-
the black guy.
I thought that was the worst part of the game.
I'm riding a bicycle.
Why am I riding a bicycle? I want a car.
San Andreas came out in like 2005 or 4.
Around- yeah.
And like it was a good game, but
Well, here's the thing. It was the first open world game that I could literally do whatever I wanted in that game. It just blew my mind. Like, I mean, up until this point, even with the other past Grand Theft Auto, there was almost barriers. It was.
But would you say that the game itself was good, or it was just that you got to experience a new thing? So you like that game? Oh no, a lot of people like that game.
Yeah.
Like all the Grand Theft Autos are good.
For me,
like that's a good game.
Yeah.
Like I'm not knocking that game like that. I'm just saying they've like obviously Grand Theft Auto 5 is better. I preferred Vice City.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, for me
like,
it was San Andreas because I mean, it was one of the. I mean, I did the other ones, but I 100% completed that game. I did everything. I mean, the music in it was sick. The game. I mean, there were small little things like
the music in all of them are always good.
You know, in that game, you could eat like burgers and die. You could eat like,
and that's why I didn't like that. Like that was a part of the game I didn't like was like stamina or whatever. Like you had to eat food and work out and hit the gym.
You did like 100 bicep curls, and you're now a buff dude.
You know what the problem was? I was spending time doing that and that's why they got rid of that, because people don't want to be bogged down with like maintenance of a video game character when
some people do.
I want to log in and play the fucking game,
No,
and
man.
I expect my guy to be ready to go and not get winded.
I lived vicariously through Carl Johnson. You know,
I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm saying it's like, other games that I play, like the Assassin's Creed games, which I really like.
Of course, they're great games.
They're not where they used to be, but they're still pretty fucking good.
Newest one is pretty good though, the Egyptian one.
Yeah, I'm still playing that.
It's proper.
I'm still playing it.
Do you know my criticism of Grand Theft Auto is?
Yes, hit me with it.
In any particular genre, it's not very good. Like as a car game, it's not very good. As a shooting game, it's not very good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can really say it's an open world experience. You can do certain things. That's really what it does. But in any type of, you try to break it down any further, like all the aspects of the game, there's a game that does it better. But they just do so many things at once to just...
That's why I like it better, because it does everything that you could possibly want. So the market...
It just became the biggest selling game of all time, copy-wise.
Yeah. No, I mean like
90 million copies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No,
5 years old, 90 million copies.
It is the most successful selling game in the world.
90 million copies, and that's not even DLC. So, like, they got it right. And it looks good.
I'm just saying good. My experience to like...
It's not a racing game. It's not a racing game.
No, I'm just saying, like, if you break down the aspects of the game.
Of course,
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's all I'm not saying this. I wasn't saying it's not a good game. I was saying it's surprising overall how, like, each element of the game... Another game probably does it better, but they somehow tie it all in, and it makes it a good experience.
But the story, see, I like this. Like, I don't play the Grand Theft Auto like online stuff that people are addicted to right now.
Yeah, I never got deep into the online. Too,
I heard it's great. I just don't do it because I'm like, there's other games to conquer, and you know what I mean. Some people they've been playing that for 5 years, and I'm like, no, that's not for me. But the story was good in Grand Theft Auto 5. The stories are always good. They're always good, right? Yeah. So the stories are always good. The characters are always good. So there's like that too. Let alone the fact that you can just run amok, you know what I mean, and do whatever you want to do, and it's kind of fun. And it's open world. So like I hear what Kirk's saying where it's not the best racing game or the best car game. It's not the best shooter game.
I agree
it's
with
not the best mechanics in the world for everything. But it's not bad. Like it's not too far off for mechanics. But yeah, it's not trying to be I don't know what the best car game is. Forza or Need for Speed. Yeah. Like I don't know. GT, Gran Turismo, like I don't know, but it's not supposed to be that, right? It's not supposed to be anything close to that.
No,
it's not supposed to be I don't know, man. Like what's a shoot 'em up around a city game? Saints Row.
There's a lot of games,
I don't know,
but the reason why I put San Andreas at the pinnacle of those games, and in general why I put it in the pinnacle is that when it in terms of obviously, I mean, numbers, selling, it's the best there. But, dude, in terms of soundtrack, it was one of the best freaking soundtracks in the video game. Like,
as a guy, you like Miami Vice.
Yeah.
Vice City.
Yeah, Vice City, yeah. No,
Vice City.
No, listen,
soundtrack was great.
No, I loved Vice City. Vice City was sick.
Right, but so
and you know what? If I had to be honest, it's just a little bit underneath because, dude, the map in San Andreas was just and dude, Tommy Vercetti couldn't even
content.
swim.
So content over.
Yeah.
I'd say content for Vice City was better, but
Yeah, I mean, it's over.
They gave you more with San Andreas. They gave you more.
Overall, everything Rockstar's put out, I've been amazed with. But for me, just because in that particular time era when I was at that particular age, because I've played the new Grand Theft Autos and I'm excited for the next one, but at that particular age where I was impressionable, I was coming up, I lived in the hood kind of.
But this is what I'm saying though. So like, if you think about how old you were then.
Yes.
You were a teenager.
Yes.
So you were impressed by a game when you were 17 or 18 years old.
Yes.
Which is that's the market, right?
Yeah.
Like I was in my early to mid 20s.
Yeah.
And I still played it.
Yeah.
I still liked it.
But you weren't impressionable.
No, I liked it a lot, but it's like I liked the one before it a little bit more.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I like the one after.
Don't get me wrong. I prefer the
80s
over the 90s, like in the thing. But just something about like.
But then I like I like 5 better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's just me. Other people will be like, nope, Vice City forever, or you know what, San Andreas
so
forever.
For me, because if I've had to go back with my obsession with Grand Theft Auto, the first one was Grand Theft Auto 3 when it first came out. This was back when I was really young. And for me, that was made it impressionable was I remember like my cousin bought it. I've up until this point I had not played a violent game at all. I mean, I grew up with like Duck Hunt, the Mario games, the kiddie games. I was maybe an Ace Combat, but I had not grown up with any violent games. So I go over to his place. We put in Grand Theft Auto 3.
You didn't play Quake or anything?
No, I never played Quake.
This is where he's
Doom.
like, I can get a gun and kill people.
No. Not even that. Not even that. So here's the thing.
I guess because I used to play like.
Yeah, Quake I never played.
Oh, I think I played because someone gave me a bunch of PC games and Quake and like Doom and
there
stuff.
was a bunch of Myst and all that
like,
shit.
Well, no, when like Quake was like first thing, I was like, this is so fucking scary. Like I was
there's that.
I picked that. I just remember like playing, and it was like my first real 3D game I ever played.
Right. Yeah,
like that because I wouldn't run on the 64.
Right. So you're a little bit older, but so for me, I go over to my cousin's place. He pops in the game, and he's like, "Here, you play." And I'm driving around. I'm like, "Okay, cool. I'm in New York. I'm driving around." And then I think I run over like a hooker, and I'm just like, "Oh shit! You can run over and just kill random pedestrians." And he's like, "Yo, you can do more than that. You can go and like just go on a rampage." I'm like, "What do you mean? Like, what do you mean a rampage?" And dude, like I get a gun, I start shooting random people. Cops
like I said,
he
got a gun,
and fucking like all hell breaks loose.
My question for you though: do you think this has had any influence on you and your obsession with guns?
Oh, absolutely not. No. Yeah, of course, man. Fuck yeah, dude. Fucking.
My next follow-up question is:
yes.
Do you think that video games lead to any external violence, or is it just like a way to have a way to cut out stress?
I think it does for like we people that have underlying mental problems, like like some guy he carjacked like 7 people, and he was just like carjacking, and he had a gun and he shot someone, and then when he was like getting arrested, he was saying, he's like, Grand Theft Auto, it's just like Grand Theft Auto, you know what I mean? Like he was literally trying to live that, but he was high as fuck. Like something like but he had there was a condition that he was going through, and then he got high, wasn't on pills, and all of a sudden this guy is like, he thinks he's in a video game, and it's like, okay, there's a reason that happened, but I mean, how many people are going to sit like a normal person or somewhat normal like me is going to sit there and be like,
there's still a
debate, I'm bored
though.
today. I guess you know what? Real life Grand Theft Auto is what I want to do.
No, people still debate because it was really big. I remember like the '90s when like there was Mortal Kombat and stuff.
Yeah,
all of a sudden, like video games were like, well, maybe this is the reason there's crime or young people are demented or something, and they're still trying to do that today when it's been proved pretty much that like except for the weirdos out there, the vast majority of people don't like act out the things in the video game. It's just a game because it's like reading a book or watching a movie. You're just you're living through it, you're enjoying it, but like most people, I'd say like 99% of people, has no effect in their overall life.
You have to, and this is what I try to like. These people who are, all the content of the game leads to the violence in the city, and it's like, no, man, it's the people, and they got problems. But like movies, right? We all watch movies and TV shows.
Yes,
and then like I have a video game console. There's games on there, whatever, but profile wise, you know what I mean? Like if you're gonna have kids, they get their own profile, so they're not on yours, and like the games can show up, whatever. But that's why another reason I like discs, because you can't just launch a game. Like, let's say it was like a fucking gore game, like some horror gore crap. You can't have a 5-year-old can't just be like, what game is this? And then launch it. He can't do that. If you have a disc, it says insert disc. And if that disc is rated R or mature or whatever, that disc is not at his level or where he can get it, right? And you're teaching him, you don't play that game. However, Netflix, and this leads me around, I'll go back to the games in a second. Netflix, you can have a kid's side and you have the adult side, right? You can go to both. There's nothing there's no preventative measures to stop a kid from exiting the kid's side, let's say, and accessing the adult side, which they promote. The very first thing that comes up right now, or what last week was, to be a killer or whatever, and it's like some serial killer show, and it's
the only thing that can prevent parenting.
No, right? But I'm saying, I'm not even saying that. A 10-year-old, a 10-year-old that gets bought a PS4 or an Xbox or whatever to play games, or even your Nintendo Switch to play Mario Kart, right? Let's say, can I have Netflix on there for some kid shows or whatever? So the kid can function. I was walking home when I was alone, or when I was not 9 or 8 or 10, and my parents would have been like, "Oh, okay, Netflix, sure, watch your shows." I would definitely discover the other side if I was that age again, and I probably would have fucking nightmares with some of the shit I might watch, because I'd be like, "Oh shit." Accidentally or on purpose or whatever. I'm just saying, they're going after video games, which are sold generally in stores or online. You have to pay credit card money for the specific game. It goes on the system. The only thing I disagree with is, I believe that the system itself, for the game, you could have like a quick little code to get into it. So that way underage kids maybe can't get into it on your console. But I feel if you're going to go after video games, you got to go after Netflix too.
I don't know, man. Listen, I grew up watching.
You're right in a sense, because another thing is that you can just give someone a gift card that has money for the PS4 store or the Xbox One, and if there isn't any control on their account for mature games, they could buy where the fuck they want. And that point,
but I'm saying a lot of kids. Well, first of all, if you're giving somebody a gift card, chances are the kid's pretty functional. He's old enough to know that it's a gift card. And
my cousin was 10. I think I gave him my Xbox. Who I gave my Xbox to this for around Christmas, and everyone, my mom was like, "What should I do for a card?" Everyone wants to know what he wants for Christmas. I was like, "Yeah, just get him Xbox cards or something." And my uncle was okay. He's he didn't really care that.
I guarantee he would have preferred a skank. Oh no, this was recent. Never mind. I was gonna say he wants a skank magazine. No, but with the internet these days, just
look, okay, because I grew up, or we grew up a little bit in a different era. Listen, when I was 8 years old, I saw Rambo 3. So I saw shit like there, and then when a little bit older, I've ever played a game called Manhunt. Gives you nightmares, but you fucking kill people in that game, but you see shit.
I was 8. I saw Nightmare on Elm Street Part 1. I thought I could handle it, man. Yeah, I got nightmares from it. You know what? Because you're a kid.
Yeah. And listen,
I'm not ashamed of people you got nightmares from Nightmare on Elm Street. They'd be like, that movie's not that scary. I'm like, how old were you when you saw it? People be like, I don't know, 12, 13, 14. I'm like, yeah, I was 8.
Listen, the first time time I saw 50 guys on one girl gangbang was grade 8. So listen, I saw shit early on.
To your generation's fucked, and I think that's why. Because my generation, you didn't see that shit.
You think my generation's fucked?
High school.
It's only getting fucking. I'm not even gonna say fucked. It's just accelerating at a faster pace, dude. These kids are what do you call 13 and 14-year-olds?
What are they playing video games?
They're playing. 100%. They're playing video games, man. They're playing video games. They're fucking going on Tinder. They're doing fucking porn shit. There's live porn shit, man. Cam jobs, dude, man. Right now, access to all that shit that our generation may have not had access to, they're fucking free in those lands, man. They're going there is no chance right now. If you have a that's why this
kids need a smackdown.
But here's why I think when it comes to parenting, now is a fucking here's the thing. Parenting back in the day.
No. Until you have a kid,
it's harder now. It has to be harder now.
It's different.
Back in the day, you sent your kid outside and he grew up. Now you send him out, he's gonna fucking learn so much shit. He's gonna see so much shit.
No, that shit's been happening forever, man. Like you
59
gotta keep an
gangbangs?
eye. You gotta keep an
59
eye on your
gangbangs?
kids. You know, you gotta keep an eye on your kids and shit. It's different.
How many? Like I've seen like 4-year-olds log into people's iPad or their parents' iPads and start buying random shit, and I'm just like, whoa, that shit can happen. I've heard these stories of like, you know, their 4 or 5-year-old kid buying games.
Like he can absolutely, he knows the code. He's 4. He can log into his iPad.
What's stopping him from like when you know maybe he's 8 or 9 and he sees
because he doesn't know that code. He doesn't know what that is to purchase. Like where it needs the big password, he doesn't know the password. He also can't, write. He doesn't know how to put words together yet.
I'm just saying, man, listen,
but 4 numbers, sure, to unlock the iPad.
Maybe he starts going to grade school, and he has that one friend that like, hey man, you ever heard about?
No, absolutely,
porn?
and it's going to be hard to limit that stuff.
Shit, and then after that, he's going to be like,
But that's why it's one of these things where I think for certain things like that, like the education system and like everybody's like, it shouldn't be like a forbidden thing. It should be natural. It's a natural thing, right? And this shit's out there. It's, to me, this is all stuff that people are going to debate about, but it's lead them into it and monitor, right? And hopefully they don't end up fucking becoming an addict or thinking this is the end all be all and having a misconception or a false reality about women and I got to date a 10 because that's a false reality, right? And they need to understand that that's not life. So monitor. But I think video games are the same thing, right? Like it's at a certain point, you start with, fake violence, Lego Marvel games or whatever, right? And it's like, okay, that's cool. But where's the next step? Like
I never got into the
simulated real violence.
Like I never got into. I admit, because I grew up. My first console was a Nintendo. My first game was Duck Hunt, so I guess you could say that influenced things, Kirk. Kirk's shooting ducks. Yeah, I was shooting ducks. But I quickly grew out of kiddie games and just started getting into more adult shit until eventually.
Did you play Duck Hunt?
Yeah, a few times. I didn't have an NES though.
Oh yeah, it was NES.
Yeah, it was the first console. Yeah, so.
So would you say that you're getting too old for games?
I feel like sometimes like I try to play some games and it's not like I'm like maybe to feel too old, but like I was telling you guys, like it was almost like by buying this like a Nintendo thing last year, playing Breath of the Wild. It like made me feel like how I felt when I was a kid again, because I would play the game so much and I was really into it, and I lose track of everything. I would just be playing the game, and I go outside, and then like I remember one week I was walking my uncle's dog for him when he was away, and I was just like, I'm outside. This is like the fucking game. Not like in like the way I'm in the game, but just so like I looked at everything kind of like, how when you're a kid and you're like, oh man, like I wonder what's over there. It's like you're exploring something in a game. Like, because now this new version of the game is so realistic and everything's got fluid graphics and physics, it's almost like I was like, wow, this is like making me feel like I'm a part, even my own world, making my own world more interesting, just like trying to compare it.
So he was living through the game.
Well, I used to walk around my old job there with my former boss, and after playing like large sessions of Call of Duty, and like we'd just be like, what gun would you use to clip that guy?
Is this good cover here?
And it's like, it's like, oh, you hear a helicopter and you're like,
if I had my sniper rifle, I think I could take that out.
Chopper.
No, but okay, so if you take
exactly, it's like I could probably hit him with a
yeah. So that kind of relates to because Khalid the intern, he'll know this. You ever play a game called Fortnite?
Yeah.
So okay, Khalid, when you play a game called Fortnite, and I say And let's say you're walking in empty parking lot and you see a shopping cart. What does it make you think?
Oh, Fortnite. What are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, there's so many things. There's so many, like, almost anything you do now you can relate to a game you play. Like, people dancing. It's like, they're dancing off Fortnite.
So I'm currently, even though I'm older now, I'm currently playing a game called Fortnite that's a big fucking phenomenon.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like what you experience with your Zelda and Call of Duty. I'm now experiencing with I think because a couple people play that I know and they're younger or whatever, but they play. And when you see certain things that are in the game, in real life, like for instance, in the game, you can grab a shopping cart and you can push your buddy and you guys can use that as transport. So now, like, I'll see like a random fucking shopping cart and a thing and I'll be like, oh fuck, it's like Fortnite. It's Fortnite. or there's been times where what's it called? Like there'll be some wood on the ground. Oh no! I remember one time because I was playing. I was in a storm, and a tree fell down or whatever, right? And I sent a picture to a group of guys that I play Fortnite with, and they're like, "Yo, man, I bet that's 150 wood," and I'm like, "Yeah, man." So I'm just saying, some of these games.
Yeah, see, the thing with that is like this is nothing new. It's just this game's put together a little bit of. They've taken elements of certain games and they put it into one game, right? And it took off. It's great. You know, people are enjoying it. You know, I hear it's great.
Yeah.
It'll die soon.
Yeah, well, something will come and kill it.
Everything does too. Remember Clash of Clans? You were on that for a while. Are you still playing that?
No, I'm saying those go on longer than
they Fortnite. Do because mobile is more accessible than somebody going home and booting up their fucking thing. I get that, but
got on my phone now.
Do you play Clash of Clans?
No, I have Fortnite on my phone.
Oh.
Same.
Did you ever play Clash Royale?
I didn't even know you could play Fortnite on your phone.
Yeah,
you could. You know, they can play a lot of games on the phones now.
Yeah, you know.
So yeah, I got the. It's one of the few games that's like not available through the Android Play Store, like the Google Play Store. Yeah. They had like a open beta, and I signed up, and then I got to download it, and then so I play that, and I play Star Wars Pinball, Pokemon Quest, and Fire Emblem Heroes.
Right. Did you ever get into Pokemon Go?
No, not really. I think because it was like the time Pokemon was really popular was when I was really depressed and I just stayed in my apartment and there was only one Pokemon nearby at my window. So I was like, I guess this is all I can do with this game is catch this one fucking Pokemon. Otherwise, I'm not leaving my house. So
because I grew up in the prime period when Pokemon, the first like the original TV show and that Pokemon fucking craze first started. I think I might have even watched the fucking.
Is this about movie. Pokemon Go or just Pokemon?
No, Pokemon in general. Like
it's whatever
I grew up.
They want you to want to like, or whatever they want you to like. And you grew up in an era where Pokemon came on TV and they mass marketed it to your generation.
Yep.
And bang.
But now you notice,
and it's out there and it's not going away. It's big.
Yeah, but now you notice because like what do you call when it came back in that Pokemon Go form,
it never really went away.
The nostalgia factor fucking kicked in. I don't play it anymore.
No, older people or like you know people that were past it that were like, oh shit, they were like, I want to play it.
Yeah,
but it never really went away. It was still there. It just wasn't, you know, at the top. And then it came back big. Yeah. People got into it again. Yeah. You know, the shows, whatever. You can go watch shit on Netflix. You know what I mean? It's there. People are watching it. You know, the cards, you can buy the cards still. You know, it's out there. You can buy figures and stuff. It's still big.
Khalid, you probably know this. You know, I've seen these things. There's a Charizard. I've seen some go for like $80.
Oh, they're the trading cards?
Yeah.
I think you can go for a lot more than $80.
Do you have any Pokemon cards?
I used to have a lot. I still do. I think have a few cards just like in a box somewhere.
You should sell some, man.
You got to keep them in real good condition. Those have been beat. They're just memories from me.
Well, if you want them for worth money, right? Yeah. But it's like Magic. You know, if you want to talk card games, like Pokemon cards and Magic the Gathering and shit.
Got to be a certain limited edition or shiny or some kind of holo card.
But see, here's the thing. I never collected these cards. I never collected Magic cards. I never collected, and there's always, even when I was little, there was always something like, some sort of fantasy or medieval or creatures or whatever. You want to know what I collected? Fucking baseball and hockey cards.
I still have hockey cards.
Baseball and hockey cards,
but they're not worth anything now, man.
Oh, I got some that are worth money, but like I got a Wayne Gretzky rookie card, man. I got a Mario Lemieux rookie card. Yeah. You know, I got old vintage.
I have a couple.
Like Willie Mays cards,
Gordie
Howe,
shit like
that.
I have
but
a couple.
like back in those ancient times for you, they that's the only type of cards they really had.
No, they had other cards.
They had other cards, but like very little. But now it's
here's the thing, and I like the fact that now it's accepted because back then, I knew a couple of guys that they used to go to the convenience store. They used to buy these cards.
But what are those cards based off?
I don't know, man.
See, but now they're off like popular shows people watch.
Right, but
kids.
they marketed it because they marketed it.
Yeah, but that's
so
why
they're like,
like
these fuckers who love this shit, we're gonna make a game with the cards or let them collect
that's
cards.
Why I like it because they've seen
the other was a
cards in
game.
action. They know what they do exactly. They watch the show. It's so there's a lot of it. Like you're not considered any kind of different type of person or anything like that unless you're older. Then people are like, all right.
No, but that's what I'm saying is that it came in for like a certain generation it hit, right? Where, when I was coming up, that shit was still out there. There was other stuff, not Pokemon. It came out a little bit later. I was just a little bit too old. But like a couple guys I knew, man, would go get these other cards, card games, whatever the fuck they were. They collected these things. We made fun of them. We were like, you guys are fucking losers. You know what I mean? You get the fucking dragon. Did you get the dragon? Did you get the wizards? You guys, wizard card. We were making fun. We were making fun of them, right?
Because the way you said it was like, I got baseball cards and hockey. I'm like, okay, now he's trying to.
It's the same way. Yeah.
But that's what my point was, is that we were being assholes because we collected baseball cards.
Elitist.
And we collected hockey cards. And because, that's
what
what little boys were expected to do back then. And if you collected this other stuff, I'm not saying it was wrong because you know what? It turns out one buddy of mine, his parents weren't into sports. He never played sports. They were avid readers. You know what I mean? He read fantasy fucking novels when he was like young and, so he got into this world. So he was like, oh fuck, there's cards I can collect of like dragons and wizards and warlocks and all that. And it's like, oh fuck. So he got right into it. He was like, this is really cool for me. Whereas I was like, I didn't understand it. I didn't like it. And I'm like, that's pretty nerdy, man. And then at the end of the day, but then, what do I end up liking? Star Trek. So like, I probably trump everybody when it comes to nerd factor, when it's just like, answers like that, where Pokemon or some of the stuff you got into, if you were into that in another era, you would have been a nerd. But because it's popular with a group of people, it's not nerdy. It's just, it's Pokemon. It is what it is.
I know every single nerd of Star Trek who comes at me and says, oh man, your name's Kirk. And I'm like, is it like the Captain Kirk? And I'm like, yeah, same name, but I'm actually named after World Series champion, who was it? Kirk
Gibson?
Kirk Gibson, who hit a home run on one good leg to win a World Series.
Yeah, Los Angeles Dodgers.
He's a real life hero. So I'm like,
he was sitting. He had a broken leg or something, and they needed a pinch hit, and they were down or something. And he was like, "Put me in the game." And he just grabbed a helmet and a hat and a bat, no warm ups or anything, and went up and he hit a fucking home run to win it.
Yeah.
That's pretty big.
I'm named after him.
Big. That's called being a man.
That's a real man, and I feel like people expect me to be named after the captain instead. So, but I mean, like both guys, pretty cool, but one guy's a real life dude.
William Shatner's still alive though, so
but he's not a Star captain or Star Trek or like a Star Fleet captain.
Some people think
he's just an over actor.
He's still alive, man, and he's still fucking doing.
Oh, he's
that's
captain.
Good
buddy.
for him. Everybody I know mostly who's still alive is still alive.
No, but he's
William Shatner
alive.
is still the captain.
Yeah,
he's still
Once a captain, always a captain.
I mean, who's the best captain? Are you Picard?
Obviously,
okay, I'm a Star Wars fan, so I'm not even gonna go down that path. But
you know what? Okay, look, we're gonna finish this, and then we're gonna talk about that for a minute. I'm a Picard guy.
Picard's pretty good, right?
You know what? It's because of the era which I grew up. It was on TV. It was big. It was a big deal. And here's the thing. That show, although nerdy, when its finale happened, they opened up the Rogers Center, the Sky Dome, and they fucking got like 40,000 people there for the finale. Like, it was a big deal. They made movies after that, and it was a big deal. I mean, not like Avengers big deal.
I don't remember it being that big of a deal, but I know.
Well, because you were younger.
I used to watch it all the time.
But you were still younger. 94, you were younger.
Yeah. No, I remember. No, I used to watch it at like my...
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
On the weekends.
Right? It's like shows that were like ending a year or two before I was born. I'm like, fuck that show. You know what I mean?
I was born in '88, but I fucking liked Miami Vice. I don't know, man. It depends on what you get into, man.
My thing
when you get into it,
what
too.
I was trying to say.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying I wasn't allowed to watch TV, so we go to my dad's on the weekend, and then it was just always on like in the afternoons. So I don't really. So I never watched it in any order. I just would just see it, and it'd be something that I liked, and I was always like, I don't know. I always just my head. I'm like, oh, then people would talk about it later. I'm like, oh, you mean like that show that airs at 3? 3 on
I can
Sundays?
understand.
Like, 'cause I was like my perception of television was like kind of like almost to me like a weekend soap opera.
But you seem like the kind of guy who might be cool, like, you know, on, like I said, like you said, like catching an odd episode, you know, on a weekend of Star Trek, because like you just seem like that kind of guy that might be like open-minded to that kind of stuff, to be like, oh, that's interesting. Where, you know, other people would be like, there's no guns, well, there's no fucking chicks.
Well, I had the phaser.
You know what I mean? No, but I'm saying like there's no action. Like, what do you? Oh, they're gonna talk. They're lowering. Oh, everybody's just gonna fly away from each other. No, how come they're not blowing each other up? Oh, this show sucks, Kevin.
That's why.
You know what I mean?
That's why I never got into Star Trek.
But that's what I'm saying, is that it's for the thinking man.
No, I get it. You know, emotional talking about
there was,
places that don't exist.
Worf would fight other Klingon dudes in that one pit with those big blade things.
Batleth, yeah,
that was pretty good.
No. So hold on. Let's go back to.
Don't forget about Whoopi Goldberg.
No, there's no Star Trek versus Star Wars.
Oh, because look.
You know that's not what it's about. Star Wars people like to say that, be like, look at Star Wars, and it's like, no, it ain't versus anything.
I like the new Star Trek movies, but
the problem
and you know what? They remodeled themselves, and people are enjoying them, and that's great. And you know what? I like the fact, or you know, people are in the world and they're enjoying it. What do you think, Kirk?
No, I think they're both like apples and oranges in a sense. Where like,
well,
I think like it's like you can't. It's hard to like like is this people think it's because it takes place in space. They're directly comparable, but like
no,
they're not.
Like, no, exactly.
One is sci-fi,
that's
the
like
other sci-fi fantasy.
It'd be like if there was another movie about
more fantasy. There's no sci-fi in Star Wars.
Well, if there was another movie that came out about
zero sci-fi in
I'm
Star
one with
Wars.
The Force. I'm one with the Force.
That's fantasy. That's magic. That's magic, man. It's pure and utter fantasy.
Lightsabers.
They ride animals, bro.
Lightsabers.
They rode flying animals.
Listen. Depending
They
on
control
the time,
their minds.
Don't they do that in Star Trek too?
No.
I've seen some little gizmos or some shit like that, or some whatever. I don't know.
There's
it's fantasy. I'm not denying it's fantasy.
There's telepathy.
Yeah.
But that's for a specific species of like race. Yeah. But no, there's not like
they're working on a real life lightsaber. They're working on lasers. You know, they're working on space travel.
Yeah, well, I mean the guy who invented the cell phone.
Yeah.
Like he said he's like, I wanted to invent what they had in Star Trek.
Yeah.
You know, like it's weird, right? Okay. What's good about Star Wars?
Well, see, I grew up
explosions.
Well, because here's my argument, or here's my little thing, and this is weird that we're talking about this, so we'll move off of this very fast. Star Trek promotes like generally a society where everybody's inclusive, everybody gets along, and then they have problems with other species, but at the end of the day, they all find middle ground. There's skirmishes and whatever, but overall, and then there's real bad guys every now and then, and they're assholes. They come in like assholes, and then shit happens, but overall, the good guys are all encompassing, and it's like everybody's accepted, and we found a way, to live with each other, no money and no wars and blah blah blah. What the fuck is Star Wars about?
See, what you just talked about right now.
What the fuck is Star Wars about?
Society issues and conflict of people talking to each other.
That's right, because it's supposed to be in the far future, which is like this is where we'll end up as a people.
But I just don't find that entertaining. For me, lightsabers, Death Stars, people getting choked out with a fucking force.
Is Star Wars and Star Trek, or isn't pretty much the same shit?
No,
we just talked about.
I know, but listen, they're both spaceships. They're both in space.
Okay, now you're just trying to.
They're not spaceships.
There's a good side who can control part of the universe, and there's a bad side who controls part of the universe.
No, Star Trek's different than that. Star Trek is more like
the only difference. The difference I see between them is one is more serious, and the other one's just more fun.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Which one's more fun?
Star Wars.
Why?
For sure.
Why?
It's just that everyone's more excited to go into battle and stuff. Well, in Star Trek, I don't want to die. Nobody wants to die unless they're doing it as an honor thing.
Well, they don't want to kill in Star Trek.
Yeah. Yeah.
So because Star Trek is like an accurate. It's trying to be as accurate as adaptation of science fiction as possible.
Okay.
Yeah, like they try to actually figure out how this shit would work.
The idea of science fiction is like the idea of like, well, this is the possibility where the future could take us.
And I respect it, and I get that.
But like science fantasy is different, where it's like you can make shit up whatever you want. Well, which for some people is fine because they're just like, well, that's not interesting to me. How like science might be this in the future. Yeah. I wanna see a magical like little green man float stuff in the air. And
I fully get why Star Wars, and I'm not I like Star Wars too. Like, I mean, and I've said this before, and I don't apologize about it to anybody. I'm not a huge fan of the original trilogy. I get it. It came out. I was a little too young probably for it. People love it. People say Boba Fett, the bounty hunter, is badass. I'm like, that guy died in a sand vagina and did nothing.
He got out, though.
So
he got out.
I'm just saying, those movies to me weren't very good. I mean, I get it when you're little, oh, this movie's great. Or if you saw them in theaters, and you're older than I am, and you saw them in, like, of course, you'd be like, this fucking kicks ass, But then, the 90s, they made the other trilogy, the prequel trilogy, and we talked about that, and you don't mind those movies. I think they're all shit.
They're not as good as the originals.
See, and I think they're better than the originals, and those are still shit. But then and now we're into the new stuff. The new stuff, and I really like The Force Awakens. I thought that movie kicked ass.
Yes.
Last Jedi, piece of shit.
I'll agree with.
So the new ones, I really liked one, and then I was indecisive on, or what's the word? Like, I'm divided on it. Like, it's like some parts I really liked, and other parts I really didn't like.
Listen,
I'm like,
you were right earlier. Just the idea of like earlier said like what's Star Wars about. That's what I was saying. The problem that came with like the newest one, because they tried to expand it. Guy's new director came in. He's like, well, this could be Star Wars or this could be Star Wars. But the problem, there's been like 7 movies to that point, and none of them had really expanded upon it. It was just kind of like, there's explosions, there's a Death Star, there's a Jedi,
lightsabers, Darth Vader,
Darth Vader, 80s.
Wow.
So the fact that's like they never really like took because George Lucas was like good at like the concept, but like the writing stuff and like the flushing out the universe, there's like, there's planets and different things and stuff, but like that's where like Star Trek has the huge advantage, where like it's very like plot driven story character stuff that's flushed out, and that's why
there's a difference, man.
I'm just saying like
Star Trek is meant for television. It's a better TV show than movies.
That's why Star Wars, I'm just saying, I think why it's gone bad.
But here's the thing, people don't want to see, and like nobody.
You can't take
people
it.
Don't go and ever talk about, like, if some people will, they'll never go back and say The Wrath of Khan, and that's a great movie, right? That's a great Star Trek movie, and that's like and even then, being objective, it's all right, but it was good. It was a battle, like it was like wits going at it. There wasn't a whole lot of fighting. The two main people, they don't even actually get to be with each other. They only talk. It's real it's just a lot of intense moments, which made it really cool. And they had some good movies, but Star Wars, I mean, I believe that they're riding on 3 things, and 3 things alone: the Force, the Jedis, and Darth Vader. And that's it. You eliminate that, and you know what? People start not liking it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The problem with they're in was the new guy who came and directed. I think he had probably some good ideas, but the problem is, you're right, is that the fans expect a certain amount of stuff, but also that means then you can't grow, and so you can't just keep.
First of all,
you can't keep having The Force Awakens over again, because that's just a New Hope. Repeated.
You have a trilogy.
That's what their problem is with Star Wars, is they have to have so many of the tropes of Star Wars in your movie, but also people don't want new things because that'll confuse them or make them upset.
I'm all for new spins.
I'm saying
or twists.
Star Wars fans. That's what happened with the new one.
But that's what. But I agree, because I'm like, okay, And I actually have a problem with it for a different reason because, I mean, okay, spoiler alert, Luke Skywalker doesn't make it.
Or does he?
No,
Or
he
does
doesn't.
he?
No, he doesn't. So
He
he
might have
dies.
survived.
Well, he said he died. He died. He dead.
He'll be come back as
He's a Force ghost, but
He's a jelly bean.
But here's the thing. I could have handled it if you've seen the movie, then you know what I'm talking about. If it was him, like if they actually had that character really there at the end, you know, not just like, you know, whatever. He did nothing.
He was a mirage.
No, he did nothing in the entire. Tell me what he did.
All right, so he found out that Darth
He
Vader,
did. Tell me what.
Vader
No,
was
no.
his
In
father.
the Last Jedi.
Oh, I haven't seen that. I've actually.
Okay.
The thing is,
Oh my God.
I've just watched the I watched so much Red Letter Media that I trust them above all. So as soon as they start saying they hate something,
Okay.
I'll finish their
He's
video.
going up.
I'll finish their video and watch all the spoilers and go, well, I'll never see
All
that
right.
piece of shit.
So I'm not even going to talk about the most recent movies.
He's going off his opinion, but
no, I'm
The
seriously.
old movies, Kevin. You like the old movies.
yes, I agree because
What do you like about them?
I remember growing up as a kid and, you know, watching the first one. It's like, oh man, cool, because obviously being impressionable. And then you fall in love with the characters because they're likable characters.
Did you like the brother trying to have sex with his sister for the whole first
You
movie?
didn't know about that. You did not know about
No,
that.
no, it was because it wasn't
did
thought
not know
up
about
until later, right? So
did
it
not
wasn't.
know about that.
You know, right? He thought it up later.
He even got kissed in the second one too.
Yeah,
she
yeah.
kissed him
yeah,
on the
and
mouth.
which would blew your because again, when I was a kid, and you find out that wait a minute, Darth Vader's his dad, and you don't actually find out that that's his sister until the third one. So
you kind of get a hint of that at the end of the second one.
you get near
There
the
is
second one.
so
Another.
okay. So that aside, and the fact Chewie didn't get a medal, why didn't Chewie get a medal?
Because he's a beast.
Exactly.
There's
right?
kind of like a race thing, I think.
Yeah, and you know what? In Star Trek, he would have got a medal. You know what? He'd be in command of his own ship.
Maybe someone wasn't tall enough to give him the medal,
So he just kind of like, hang on,
and then they tried to pin it on him, and he was like,
or he ate it. I heard that theory is that he just ate it like the Cookie Monster.
I think he was too tall, and they tried to pin it on him, and you know how he doesn't like things put on him, like those handcuffs, right? You know the handcuffs. So he tried to put a medal on him, and he's like, "Rah, metal stuff." And all. Maybe he's just like
The only thing it got going is the twist about Vader being his dad. That's it. That's the whole thing. Blew people's fucking minds. But Khalid, actually, I got Khalid watching the new Star Trek show,
I'll check it out.
Generations.
It's actually pretty good.
Discovery.
So for me, just to close up for me for the whole Star Wars versus Star Trek thing, because I've actually seen of the old Star Trek movies. I've seen first one, Wrath of Khan,
First one's horrible.
the one where Spock dies and they bring him back to life. I forget.
That's Wrath of Khan.
Was that Wrath of Khan? And then there's one where.
For Spock.
And then there's one where they have a fucking council, or maybe it's all of them where they just.
There's been a
fell
bunch.
asleep. Anyways, I think one or two, maybe the third one. And then I saw the one where the old crew and the new crew.
Generations.
Maybe it was that one. Yeah, because the old crew.
Kirk and
Picard. Yeah. Okay, so I saw that, and then
That
there's-
was the first one for the new
and then Cyborg.
TNG.
Anyways, and then I've seen all the new Star Trek movies, and and I enjoy
the
them.
new ones are good.
And I enjoy
The
them.
new ones are fun.
And listen, I even like some of the old TV shows with Captain Kirk and the ones from the 60s were entertaining. I just think that, so when it comes to what really divides Star Trek people.
He hit a woman.
And yeah, and he kissed a black woman too, first time. Big thing for
That's
TV.
true, yeah.
So the thing I think that really breaks down a Star Trek fan versus a Star Wars fan is that when Star Trek fans are watching it, they want to be intellectually engaged and like really, like story development, world sci-fi and all that stuff. Whereas a Star Wars fan is like, no, I want to shut my brain off and just be entertained. So
Yes.
I want to see lightsabers, explosions. They don't even care about dialogue. I mean, if you've seen the new prequels, it wasn't even about
No, you're right.
dialogue.
You're right.
They just want to turn the brain. And here's my thing. I believe in entertainment in general. I mean, look at superhero movies.
it's like a spectacle. That's why people go to like blockbuster movies. They want to see the big deal. Like there has to be like explosions.
Yeah,
It has
Star
to be,
Wars is
like,
that.
Fast
yeah,
and the
for sure.
Furious
It's
would have
gotta be-
not made 7 movies if there wasn't people that liked that shit. So what I'm saying is, yeah,
It made 8 of those.
they're going to be making 9. Anyways, what I'm saying is there's a market for both. Don't get me wrong. I like intellectually, like I think when I watch a Nolan movie, my mind's fucking being fucking engaged as fuck. Like, I mean, Inception. But anyways.
Yeah, but you could argue that Christopher Nolan movies are, mentally engaging or intellectual.
You have to pay attention in those.
But he also makes movies where he doesn't actually close out his movies. Like, he'll just be like, it's
Because-
whatever you want it to be. Or like, well, I didn't want it.
Well, it's a very British style, but yeah.
And it's like, listen, your audience wants an answer.
That's what you assume.
And
But no, he wants you to be.
no, people
engaged.
will say, everybody I know that's seen some of his movies
Yeah.
will say it's a great movie until the end. It's a great movie until the end.
Because-
and it's like, right, yeah,
It's like-
you know,
it's like
and that's
those-
how I feel.
It's like those
Well, I'm like,
novels.
it's a great
where-
movie until the end.
Choose your adventure, right? He that's what he's creating. He's creating Choose Your Adventure.
But it's not a choose your adventure.
Why not?
It's a fucking $200 million movie.
Yeah, that he's now gifted you to end in your own way, depending on the type of
But
person
you end up wanting
are.
to know what his vision is for the character. Are you telling me? You know how easy that is then? You know how easy it fucking is then, Kirk? You write stuff. Kevin, you write stuff.
Yeah.
To write a story.
Yeah.
With no ending.
Because you know how
To
fucking,
just get to a point
Yeah.
to be like, okay, and we're done.
yeah, because I'll know the ending. As the creator, I would know the ending. But here's what thing I would want to know.
But
As-
getting it through to the audience is the hardest part.
And once you get there-
and not doing that
yeah,
is bullshit.
no, because
I think it's interesting with like a director like Ridley Scott. Like his thing with Blade Runner is really funny. How like the original writer of the novel, he's like, what's his name? What's the guy in like his Harrison Ford's character's name? Decker. Yeah, he's like, he's not a replicant. And then all of a sudden, like there was like the movie was like first run through. It was like Decker is not a replicant. And then Ridley Scott puts out these like extra specials and he's like, maybe he is. And then like later on, he's like, in an interview, he's like, yeah, I've always planned all along that he was a whatever. And now they've
Well, no, he said he's like, I've always thought he could be.
Oh no, I always thought it was like because it's funny. It's
Like,
almost
you know what I mean? It's like, you don't know.
Like he's kind of like, but like the way they did those,
They imply.
Well, the way
Even
they-
the new one, they imply.
well, they're just saying with like all the different editions of it is pretty much like, oh, all this stuff means he's probably a replicant. So it's like
People
it's like
want him to be a replicant. That's the difference, right? People want him to be a replicant because it adds this whole nother layer to the movie that would be like, oh man, that's crazy. You know what I mean? But
I guess
like,
then he wouldn't be self-aware that he's a replicant though, I guess. I don't know.
But-
I just think it's funny that like all the back and forth because some fans really hate it, that like, that's he's been messing with it over time and trying to poke more and more that he might be instead of just like leaving it up to them. Because it's like either that's what I'm just saying, like in what you're saying about movie endings, it's good to have closure sometimes.
I want
Sometimes.
closure, man. Unless you're gonna make another movie.
well, that's the thing. That's another industry thing too. Because
Unless you're gonna make another movie, then okay, give me a little something.
no, but here's the reason why.
Like Inception.
Yeah, here's another thing. I like movies sometimes that are engaging where they leave the ending open because what's it called? Rewatchability. You'll be able to rewatch it and like, oh wait, maybe it happened this way. Whereas what's it called? If it's like a caper movie, like I'm not gonna watch Ocean's 11 again. I already know what happens. I know what goes down. Yeah, maybe whatever. But I will watch Inception 20, 30 times because maybe I missed something the first time. Maybe
You know, I
it's
fall
gonna
asleep
change my
every
mind.
time when I watch that movie.
And listen, man, I fell asleep one time, and it fucks with you because it's a whole dream thingy. And then I had a dream where it was Inception-y, and it fucks.
Oh
with
no,
your
it's
head, man.
cool. There's cool shit in the movie. The premise
Yeah.
is cool. I'm not saying it's not cool, and the way he
Yeah.
filmed it wasn't cool.
Right.
The story itself is mediocre. It's more about the idea of it.
Okay.
You know what I
A lot
mean?
of
And like
levels.
it gets to the point where at the end he spins the top, and then it wobbles, and then it ends, and it's like, but so is he in the dream or is he not in the dream?
That's up to you.
You know what I
It's
mean?
up to you.
No, but it shouldn't be up to me, man. Finish
Why?
your
Why
goddamn
not?
movie.
Why? No, it's
Because
finished.
I just sat here for 2 hours and 30 minutes watching this
It's
garbage.
engaged- It's basically
Star Wars.
It's basically no, we're done with that. It's basically the director saying to you, Christopher Nolan is literally talking to you.
Then
Murray.
let me direct the movie.
Murray, what do you think the ending is? So what do you think it is? What do you actually think it is? You've seen it. What do you think it is?
Oh my god! If it's fucking, he's still dreaming,
Yeah.
or not. Either way, I'm gonna feel gypped if you know, because I don't want to be wrong.
It's not about being.
No, because they all come out later on when they get old and need money, and they write a book or they do an interview and they go, "Oh well, my idea was either I had no idea, or oh no, he was still in a dream."
He's not in a dream.
Why?
Because this is what happens. The spinning top is spinning, and then it goes to black. But if you listen very carefully, you'll hear that drops, which means signaling that he is in reality.
I never heard it drop.
You gotta listen real close.
Now you're gonna make everybody watch that fucking movie again with the volume
watch
blasted
the whole way through.
Here's the thing: it comes down to personal. For me, as an optimist, I would like a movie to end where he gets to see his kids again and live happily ever after. But as the pessimist, I'm like, oh no, he's fucking in that loop and he's never getting out. So.
But either way, he's with his kids, like in that reality and dream reality, he's with his kids and his wife, right?
Sure.
So,
sure.
I mean, as long as he's not self-aware of that, then, but good on him.
Okay, again,
but wouldn't it be better if he was self-aware and he makes that choice?
Again, that's your ending. I'm not.
Or he's because reality is actually that his kids and wife are dead, and he's choosing this as a backup.
That's what I'm saying.
So he doesn't mind the loop at that point because the other reality is just way more depressing.
Okay, I wanted another movie similar to that. Do you remember the movie The Grey? Liam Neeson fights a bunch of wolves.
Yeah, I never saw it.
Okay. Anyways, there's a lot of movies where...
you know what? I heard it's a good movie.
It's good.
It's just, man, Liam Neeson, he's fighting a lot.
Yeah.
He's fighting a lot, man. It's like every Liam Neeson movie is it's a fight. It's taken. Somebody's taken.
I'm about to watch his last movie, The Commuter.
Somebody's dying. And I think it's him fighting again.
It is, but I think...
I heard, he was divorced. He was divorced, and for some reason, that happened, that he started taking all these roles.
No, his wife died.
Oh, his wife died. I thought he got divorced. Okay, that's more of a reason to be like...
His wife was taken from this world.
She was taken.
She hit a tree or something.
Previous to that, all these Taken and Grey and all the other crazy movies he was in, he was more of a serious actor. He wasn't.
Yeah, now he's just pumping them out.
Yeah, he's like the Nicolas Cage
of what
he does.
And Liam Neeson's also he's old. Compared to what you think he is, he's 65.
Yeah, no, I mean,
he's kicking ass in these movies, and it's wow, Liam Neeson's old.
To me, it's just him. Is he some sort of affirmation to himself? I'm gonna fight still. I'm gonna.
Hey, I like Liam Neeson, man, but I'd like to see a legit movie with him where now I expect him to fight. It's now would I watch a Liam Neeson movie where I'm like, oh, he's a lawyer. You know what I mean? With no fighting, it's all.
Speaking
just
about old guys fighting,
guess
what movie just got announced? At the age of 71, there's going to be another Rambo movie. There's going to be a Rambo.
I'm fine with that.
There's a Rambo 5. Rambo
I'm fine with that. He's already doing Creed, man.
What's John Rambo up to this time?
Apparently in Arizona, shit goes down. He's back home.
No, I heard about it. Some of his people there, their kids go missing in New Mexico.
Yeah.
Across the border or something, and then he has to go deal with it.
Yeah.
So obviously it's going to be a good old-fashioned 80s rock.
I don't know, is this the old Mexico or the new Mexico? I don't know.
Listen, man, at the end of the day, when it comes to movies, that's the magic about them. They are catered to what you don't like every movie I like. I don't like every.
But are you
movie
gonna go?
like.
You're gonna watch this Rambo?
100%. I'm also gonna not only I'm gonna binge watch the other movies before I even go watch this other one because I'm gonna be fucking amped.
You're nuts. I only watched the movie before the movie.
Blood. I've watched every fucking movie so that when I go in there, I'm full. I did that with Mission Impossible, and that's why because Kirk.
I'd burn out.
I went with Kirk, and Kirk hadn't seen 3, 4.
Most people haven't.
Haven't seen most.
I
of them.
haven't seen any past Mission Impossible 2, which is still my favorite. I think Mission
We've
Impossible.
talked about Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible 2 is probably my favorite of the three I've seen. It has the most karate moves done off of motorcycles, so I say that's probably, in my book, way better than
anyways,
I can definitely tell in 2, I don't think Tom Cruise was doing all his stunts back then.
Right.
Because there was some pretty crazy Wire John Woo stuff happening.
So Rambo, you're going to go see. So you're pumped that Arnold is coming back as the Terminator in the new Terminator?
Is he doing another one, really?
This one takes place right after T2. They were erasing all the other Terminator movies. It's directed by James Cameron. They're going back. So this Terminator 1, Terminator 2, and then this
Listen,
one.
it's going to be a sad day when Arnold and fucking Stallone can't do these movies. So I don't give a fuck how long. Listen, if Arnold is in a wheelchair and they need to CGI his ass where he can say, I'll be back, I don't give a fuck. I will watch every movie he comes because
Okay, how do you
Wasn't
feel
that
about?
movie made already? The new Terminator.
there's Genesis, but apparently this one now
And he was in that too.
Yeah.
And he was in that too. Like
Yeah.
had a big part in it. But
Yeah.
now they're saying that one won't even count. They brought Linda Hamilton back.
They
She's
never
back.
count. They never
You know how
count.
they killed her off in the
Yeah.
third one?
Yeah.
Like she wasn't even in it. They were just like
Well, they
she
fixed
mom
that
died.
in the latest
No,
one.
no, Linda, like the actual actress from the first two movies.
Yeah, yeah.
She's in this movie. So this goes right after part two. Like
Okay.
all the other ones don't count.
Why,
Genesis doesn't count.
Why is everyone so much older? Why would you send this old robot?
Listen,
It's like, could you have any like new robot?
See,
Like,
which is
why
why-
would I build a robot that has an old man?
Which is why I don't think he's going to be a robot.
it goes back to the games.
I'm-
It's nostalgia. Nostalgia is what fucking gets you.
Well, no, I'm curious to think because that Genesis had that one like is that motion capture version of Arnold where it's like young Arnold again. It's similar technology.
Salvation.
No, it wasn't Salvation. It was Genesis.
Oh, they both did, yeah.
They both.
But it was like there was a version of him that was like the younger.
Yeah.
But it's like
I love that
computer-
technology.
I'm
That's
just saying
amazing.
that. But like, where do you think that's going to go with movies in the future? Because I used that like in Rogue One. They had like
Yeah.
young Carrie Fisher
Yeah.
and what guy who played General Tarkin. You think that could be like the new thing, just to keep like if you're saying like, oh no, I can't believe the day that Arnold or
I
Sly
thought
Stallone, but maybe they give their image away and say, hey, keep making
I
movies with me.
think for Carrie Fisher for that movie it was okay because she was a hologram.
No, it was in real life. It was before she died though, so this was like young her because they're passing her the Death Star plans.
You've seen Rogue One, right?
Oh shit, that's right.
Yeah,
I
I'm
forgot about that.
I'm just saying like
CGI
that
face,
that
yeah.
technology
Yeah.
you could like what in the future if you really wanted to keep stars alive, keep
okay.
making more
Okay.
movies. You can make the Terminator movies you wanted to make with the version of Arnold Schwarzenegger you really
Well,
wanted.
it's one of those things, man. It's like the same as remember what awards show was it like fucking 7 years ago where they brought Tupac back
Oh, it was
and with the
Coachella.
hologram.
It's Coachella.
Was
He-
it Coachella?
yeah.
And with
Yeah.
the hologram, and it was crazy. It was cool.
He's still
Everybody
up there.
loved it. It was really cool to see because nobody expected it. And then everybody did it, and everybody blew up. And then they started trying to do it with other
Roy Orbison when
They
he's
tried,
coming
yeah,
out
they
soon.
tried to do it with other, dead celebrities or singers or whatever. And then they tried a tour. They tried a hologram tour.
Oh my god!
And it was like.
sounds
And
awful.
it failed, and now you don't see it. Like,
No, I just mean like in movies because
You
it seems
know.
like movies now have the technology
Yeah.
from CGI to basically replicate a whole person. Like I don't know how they have like someone doing body motion capture underneath. or
Sure,
something.
sure.
But I'm just saying like the hardest thing they say like when we're talking about video games originally, the hardest thing video games have to do when they make a character is the human face. But like for someone shooting video, that's the easiest thing I can do is like take a video of your face. Whereas like to make realistic eye and facial movements to make you look like a real person is really tough. You guys have played video games where people's like eyes are dead and you're like, what the fuck is wrong with this? Because they don't have realistic eye motions like that. So I mean that's kind of cool to think that like maybe like in movies that's going to become the new thing.
So here's the thing, because I and then this. We grew up in an age where a lot of good movies came out in the '80s. Fucking Indiana Jones, Bond movies, whatever.
Ghostbusters?
Yeah, fine, Ghostbusters, whatever.
Gremlins?
Now, putting
the Gs.
putting the ethical part aside,
Goonies.
and
3 Gs.
whatever. Putting all that aside, what about in the future? Let's say they want to do another Indiana Jones movie, but Harrison Ford is dead.
they are doing one. They've already announced it.
I know they're going to do one when he's 75, 80, whatever.
Well, let's get the guy
No,
from
it's going to film like end of this year, early next year.
Okay.
What if they got the guy who played him in the new Star Wars thing? Like the Han Solo
No,
story?
no.
They get the Han Solo guy.
Okay, so what I'm saying
They
is,
get him to be the...
as a fan of these movies and a
That
fan,
would be so
He's
bad.
just going to be the guy.
He's just like from now on, he just does all the new versions of Harrison Ford movies.
So what I'm saying, as a fan of the actor and as a fan of the movies, would you rather have them recast that character with whoever the hot new actor at that point is, or would you rather use this technology to maybe further explore where this character goes?
I'm a fan, depending on what it is. If you can continue it as a sequel, where No.
Indiana Jones before the Temple of Doom.
No,
His first outing.
I wouldn't.
Young Harrison Ford.
If you're gonna do that, do it 20 years from now. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
Like, he's got to be gone.
He'll be gone. Yeah.
But I'm saying, if you want to do it in 5 years, like, well, they're gonna release one in the next 2 years.
Rambo,
But-
Vietnam, where it actually shows what happened when he was in.
No,
Vietnam.
but see, like, I think you can do Rambo, and you can do, like, basically what he's done, what Stallone did with Rocky, is how you should do it. Creed,
Passing the torch.
is
I
that
get
he's
it.
in it, he's still a very main character,
Yeah.
but you're passing the torch to, you're passing it, so people are still getting to see their guy. No, I know, and and the first one, like, people like it, and so, like, people still get to see their people, but they understand their people aren't going to be the main guy, But if you can even make them have a main part, great, and that's how you should do it. When you go young, do it later. It's like, you got to have no options for the original people.
You can keep making Ant-Man movies because apparently Paul Rudd doesn't age.
There's that too. Keanu Reeves too. But see, the thing is with that technology, you open up things to, like, what if one day they make a movie where it's Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, and fucking Jet Li all in one movie, right? It opens up the world of creative content when it comes to that shit. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, it depends.
Would you like to see another Ghostbusters movie with Harold Ramis?
He's dead.
I don't need to see him CG.
Properly done?
No, I don't think so. I mean, like, in certain circumstances, maybe, but, like,
The ship has sailed.
Like, it's just like, I don't know. I think it's one of those things, like, if they really had something planned and they're like, well, if we could, like, basically all they really needed was, like, the rights to that person's thing or whatever. Like, it would make sense if it was like, how, like, some directors or
Well, they
people,
also got a lot of people that got to sign off on it.
well, yeah, say it was like their dream project or something, but they realized, oh, I'm too old, or they passed away, but they had, like, in their will, they gave their rights to, like, their their face. But someone like fucking Harrison Ford, like, he was trying to get killed from Star Wars like 20 years ago. Like, some people don't give a shit if they're in these movies, and then it's not part of their legacy. So it just depends on the person. Like, if someone's really connected to their character, but realizes, like, hey, like, I'm 80 and I'm never gonna be that guy I was when I was young.
And that's why I think a lot of people, like, older do that, right? Like, new Indiana Jones movie, Harrison's going to be in it. I would not be surprised.
If he killed him off?
But I don't think you can. Like, I don't like, those movies are supposed to be fun, like, and kind of leave you kind of like smiling at the end, right? Because he always gets the upper hand. So, like, if you're gonna, take him out, that's kind of a weird movie. I think that's one where you can't. But, like, yeah, I fully understand, him biting it in Force Awakens. The Ghostbusters thing, maybe I've said it before, huge fan of the originals. The new one, they should have just called something else because it's not horrible, but it shouldn't be that. It would have been a lot better if they had the main guys in it as a senior crew, or, maybe not doing the job anymore. Just have them around.
Yeah, I always
not just give them cameos in the fucking movie that are dumb, like, have them in it, because then it invests me back in, like.
Well, did I ever tell you guys, I always thought that there was a sequel. It wasn't that the original cast, or they weren't really a huge part of it. It was supposed to be like in the original one where they have that commercial, they say, we're the Ghostbusters, franchise opportunities available. There should have just been that, like, a different city where they're like, we're like a franchise.
Apparently, they had lots of ideas.
Well,
and they had a lot of things going on.
It was set up from the very first movie. You could have done something like that, where it could have been like, instead of trying to reboot it and do basically the same story with women.
That was the idea that they were going for, was that it was going to be a continuation. The guys were going to be old. You know what I mean? And actually, like, the best one that I heard, well, anyways, I'll tell you offline, but it was going to be that. And then this moron Paul Feig got his hands on it, and he's made some funny, okay movies in the past, I guess. But then again, I'm not a big fan of his movies. And then he just had this idea. He's like, I need to create all the technology again and make it my own. And they were like, okay. And then it turned into it wasn't even about the movie after that. It turned into, because he cast all girls. it turned into this whole thing where they tried to spin it that the movie's going to do bad or did bad because guys hated on it because it was a bunch of girls. It was just people missed the Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
you know, people just wanted to see their guys,
I think,
or their people again.
It just didn't seem right from the get go. They had it was a weird message.
I wanted Annie Potts. People say I'm sexist if I didn't like that movie, but the receptionist was Thor, and then they made it very sexist, where the girl's fawning over him and wants to bang him, and it's like, what's funny? Ghostbusters, they never treated the receptionist Janine as a sex object, not at all. Not at all.
What do you do in your free time? I just mostly look at spores and fungus.
She actually was the one who had a thing for the little guy.
No.
No, Egon. Yeah.
Her and Egon.
Yeah, she liked nerd guys.
And then
Rick
she
Moranis,
had a thing with Rick Moranis.
But
in the second
they
one,
never
right?
treated her like that. Nobody was just fawning over her,
It's timing.
And they thought it was funny. And I'm like, that's not funny. And they made Thor dumb. Anyways.
I don't know.
I've actually seen that new one. I don't really want to see it. I'm just kind of like, I loved the original one.
What one?
Like the new Ghostbusters. I didn't really want to see it, but I just was like kind of funny because like even in the original trailer, it was setting up that like something happened 20 years ago. Like it was like in the
I know they even
and
did
then,
that.
And then they walked it back and said, "Oh no, these two stories aren't connected." So when you see like
I know
you see
on that,
Aykroyd and you see Bill Murray
they said
in this movie,
30 years ago, 4 friends.
They were never Ghostbusters.
And then it's like, what? Yeah, no, yeah, they lied. But
it would have been cool if there was more of.
But you never saw that, so like you don't have the urge to watch movies that are made about movies that you really liked. Like, are you gonna watch? Did you ever see the movie Bad Boys?
Yeah,
Kirk's not a bad boy guy.
I remember seeing Bad Boys in like 1995. I rented on VHS.
First one, yeah.
And then
I lied about my age to get in to see the first one at the movie.
For
theater.
some reason,
what about the second one?
I've seen the second one, but I don't remember that much about it. It was kind of. I remember there was a point where they're like trying to stay quiet, and what's his name points out. Martin Lawrence points out like in that house, they're like behind drywall or something, and he's like, "There's 2 rats having sex," and he's like, "They do it like humans." That's the only thing that sticks in my head. But I think the first Bad Boys I would have watched a lot more, so I kind of have a better understanding.
First one's great.
Yeah.
Second one's good too.
The second one's good, but like I feel like it's like
Second one's
kind of
good
like
too.
it kind of has those same kind of points where you're just kind of like they kind of like interchange.
I want to see the next one, man.
Well, apparently that's Will Smith's next movie.
It's not that
Just
Bright,
so you know,
Bright too.
he's filming Bad Boys and then he's filming Bright.
Oh my god, that Bright was so bad.
No. I think.
So it's happening though. But Bad Boys 3's coming, and the second movie was like 2002. Because I made the Shake Your Tail Feather.
That's
that bigged up that song, right? Because I was in that. So, but it's like what? Fuck! By the time it comes out, it's going to be like 2020,
Dude, most of this stuff is
late 2019, early 2020. That's 18 years after the last movie. You gonna watch it?
100%. Yeah.
Remember the last one where he has Martin Lawrence's character has kids? What his kids?
He has kids in.
The new, I'm just saying, like, if it's been like since 2002.
He has kids in both of them.
Yeah, but like, I remember the one girl was about to date in the second one, and they were gonna like they're giving the guy a hard time in the second one.
Yeah.
But like, what if they bring her back? It's the same character, but she's aged 18 years. Like, what if she's almost 40? I don't know.
Would they do that?
Yeah.
No, but I'm just
15 years later.
saying that, like, that's be kind of interesting.
Like, weren't they doing that in the Lethal Weapons? Like, weren't they bringing? Anyways,
Those weren't over, like, I guess.
and they're talking about making another Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
They want to do another one with the guys.
Mel Gibson is now like acceptable again.
Yeah, he's hot again.
Listen. All these people that complain about sequels, prequels, and whatever. At the end of the day, if a lovable character was created, and I don't care who you like, it deserves to be seen again eventually. Like I don't mind. I don't make Terminators movies all day long.
Well, they have.
And listen.
But there's a reason the original guy.
Yeah.
Like James Cameron, man.
Yeah.
He's coming back.
Yeah.
And he's gonna do it.
Well, here's the thing. There was
and it's like, wow, like, okay, you know what? This guy, he's got some cred now. Here's
the thing. There was a time in Hollywood where they were trying to do movies. Like, remember when they did Conan with Jason Momoa, and they tried to they did recasting of certain movies.
Yeah.
There was a period where like Hollywood was like, okay, well, we like these lovable characters that we created by legendary people that we want to maybe eventually think. And they bombed horribly. And then that's when I think they started to learn, no, fuck it. People like the old thing. They don't mind seeing the older version of it.
I think it was different, man, because back then you didn't have the internet. You had no idea what was coming out. You only knew from trailers or, little things. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you would go to the movie theater and like you would look at the wall or you'd see a cardboard cutout, but you would see a poster.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, oh shit. Or you'd see a trailer and be like, oh my, wow, this movie's coming out? Yeah. I didn't know that. And
I used to watch all the trailers.
You got all into it.
When I get like rent a movie, I watch all the trailers and I would rent all the movies I liked from those trailers.
Oh, I hated that. I dislike the fact that they used to put, or maybe they still do, trailers in front of movies that you bought.
I think in Disney.
And like you would buy you buy a movie and then you put it in but you can't do anything. Like it won't even let you get to the menu. It's making you watch the trailer for like a minute. Yeah. And like, it's like, and then they give you a second trailer and it's like, oh, you son of a bitch. And then you gotta, and then you can't. And then it's like, okay, but you keep that movie.
Right.
Yeah. But it's a trailer for a movie 10 years ago.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, did nobody think this through? Like this is gonna be on there forever. And if it's a garbage movie,
I think there's a code on like a DVD player's remote you can bypass them.
That's when they come out with special editions where it's now new trailers from today and all that shit.
I used to like that with VHS at least because I knew I could fast forward them, but almost like my thing was just to watch them because then I knew it's like almost like homework for more entertainment later. Because and I realized with DVDs and other things later now with internet you can just block everything if you want to. But like sometimes forcing yourself to watch a trailer, you're like at first it's hard to get your attention, so like you can easily skip it if you really wanted to.
But when you're just whole movie, man. Like if I buy the disc, I don't want a trailer on the disc. I bought the disc.
No, it's just what they do.
I shouldn't have none of this shit. I mean, I get it. If I rent it, fine.
Well, I think it's like,
you know what I mean?
It's on every movie, I guess, even back then. So I'm just like, for me, it was like kind of like because I didn't have any other way of seeing before internet. My mom didn't let us have cable. So if I wanted to rent more movies, it was either just by word of mouth or the other trailers I saw.
Right. So what really gets me too, man? YouTube ads. Like I get it. Where I'm watching a video.
That's money, man.
How do you block them? I don't even know how to block them.
It's like, or was it the U blocker or something? You can add an extension.
Okay, well I watch so I'll watch YouTube on my Xbox, right? So I don't think I can. However,
that's trickier. Like when your phone, you basically have to root your phone to like.
Well, I got an iPhone, so I can't do that. Maybe there's a blocking app. I don't know. But so like I'm sitting there, I watch a video for a minute. And then I get a commercial that it won't let me skip for 15 seconds. And I'm like, all right. And I guess YouTube's not the worst because some other ones will be like, you got to watch this whole commercial for like 30 seconds. And it's like, okay, that sucks. But then I'll be chilling. I put the remote away or whatever. It could be on a PC, whatever. And you're chilling, lying on the couch, whatever, getting sleepy. I'm watching something for 20 minutes on YouTube, maybe longer. It ends. 8-minute commercial. That's not a commercial. That's not a commercial.
What is the 8-minute commercial for, though?
It could be about anything. It could be about fucking car paint.
But then you can skip.
You know what I mean?
That after some time you can
No,
skip.
I know, but I'm just saying.
I've never.
You're not even giving me a commercial. You're not even giving me a 30-second whatever for that 8-minute. An 8-minute is not. That's a fucking video.
But dude, it's the whole system. It's whole, like I get commercials for certain things because of the certain things you search up.
I used to really like.
Because that's the thing. People left TV.
I used to really like getting these like promotional videotapes when I was a kid. I remember my favorite one was for Star Fox 64. Mm-hmm. Back to video games. And it was just like a couple of guys just talk. It was like a weird thing, but it was like a 12-minute movie all about like how the game works, but like infotainment, where they're explaining stuff, and it's like the guys are fighting over like, oh, how does he like? There's a Sega guy and they're tied up a Nintendo dude with a PlayStation guy. And they're like, how did he make this rumble pack? This game does everything, and it was like. And it took me a long time to realize that, like, why the fuck am I watching this? Because it was like, it's like I'd watch it sometimes more. I watched it at least 3 or 4 times, but like stuff like that, I used to kind of like. So I don't know. Just like back then,
It's
that was
money.
like
It's just money.
that's like something that you would watch on YouTube now.
It's
I
money.
think.
People pay a lot of money for those things to happen. So, anyways, there's that.
The videos, the commercials.
Listen, people ran away from cable TV because they were tired of commercials, and then they went to the internet, and then now the internet's no. Commercials still need to be.
Well, YouTube apparently is now. It's like, I guess the YouTube is experimenting now with having advertisements outside of just their own shows, so like regular ads in certain places. So then people really haven't liked it, but like they're like trying to find a new revenue stream. So now now if they play like a Nissan commercial or something before your video, but mostly people hate them, so they probably won't continue because it's all like by what people want.
Well, I also read where Netflix is now going to start.
Because they're the monopoly.
They're doing a beta test now to say, can people like, so they're going to hone in on people like in between videos, like, rather than that, 30 seconds or whatever, waiting 20 seconds, whatever it is, they're going to give you an ad. They're going to give you the ad. And now they're going to figure out how long of an ad can we do so we don't, like, people don't just end up exiting and saying, okay, well, I'm done streaming for today.
Listen, man.
Because they want you streaming, right? Like, that's their whole thing. But if they, like, think about it. Because, like, if you're Netflix, it makes sense, right? Like, so, like, what's coming out next? Iron Fist, right? It's coming out, like, next month.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a big series for them.
Yeah.
You don't think they want, like, Ford or somebody would pay huge dollars to put like a 30-second ad in between every episode for the season?
Of course, man. Because that's going to reach.
Hey, Iron Fist, where'd you get that brand new Ford Escape? Is it a 2018?
Well, that's product placement.
Oh my! I'm just saying, like, they make it like
with the actors,
they make a very obvious like ad in the show. That'd be funny. No, I think the thing with Netflix is they'll probably have to do that at some point. Find other ways to advertise because, I mean, like, they're all dependent on their subscriber base, and eventually that'll stop, and then people to stay on the site will still want that.
Here's the thing,
content.
right? Like, it's like a pyramid scheme almost with Netflix because, like, at a certain point you're gonna run out. Mm-hmm. Like, nobody else is going to sign up. Like, you're going to max out. Like, or you like, if you're getting 5,000 people every day or 1,000 every day, eventually it's going to end. Right?
Not necessarily, man. Listen.
What do you mean not? There's only so many people with working internet.
Look at what happened with television. People were,
There's only so many people with televisions.
And then they eventually offered special channels.
No. You're looking small scale, dude. You're looking very small scale.
What if one day Netflix is like,
you're looking at North America and Europe.
We have sports. Netflix is going to now stream sports. But
those people still okay.
You'll have to pay for that.
You're kind of missing.
You'll have to pay for that, dude, man.
If you're talking about changing or adding features.
Yeah, features. That's where it's going to go.
I think that they're looking at commercials first.
Well, commercials is one. Look, there's always going to be commercials,
but eventually they can't grow their business. Like, they'll grow so large, there's no other subscriber for you.
Okay. Yeah. They'll still make money.
Well, they're very similar.
No, right, but like a household, like you said, we'll offer sports for a package, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, they're
to who? Because NFL is the U.S., right? They're the number one sport in the United States. NFL Network.
Okay.
But they're a tech company, so
that's what people subscribe to.
All their value as a tech company, it's like similar to Amazon, where they don't like their operating amount of money they actually earn as net income is relatively low, if not just losing money. But all their value is based on their subscriber base.
Yeah.
But eventually their subscriber base, like you're going to say, it's going to top out.
Okay.
So which means like they won't have
at that point like
increases.
At that point to keep making more original content, they'd have to be smarter how they do it.
But even their contracts, you know what I mean? Like people be like, okay, well,
because they throw stupid money at people right now.
Yeah, of course.
So it's like at that point they're like, well, like this is all the money. It's like having like a budget at that point where now they don't have a budget because they just
right now it's like, well, I could get Dave Chappelle for $50 million.
Yeah, or Dave Chappelle
and he'll do 3 specials.
He would have taken
and it's
like 20.
Do it. Exactly. And it's like, do it. We'll get the specials out there. And it's like, but eventually they're going to be like, well, we can't give him $50 million. Or somebody's gonna say, "Can I get like Seinfeld, $100 million?"
Yeah, it's
You know
like,
what I mean? And it's
there's
like
X amount of
that's
money,
crazy.
X amount of money we make a month, and these are all the shows we have, and that's how much it costs us to put all these movies and TV
Right.
in place, and we want to make money out of that money out of subscribers. So eventually, like either they find new ways to make money, or they just stop making more content. And it's
Or
like,
here's
they
one for you.
Increase their prices.
They have
don't like
also
that either.
one of the other
People will be forced to.
one of the other Red Band ideas was to offer a like this is where I was the comment about adult content, an adult version of Netflix,
Of course.
for an added fee.
Yep. You know how many people are
Pornhub Premium.
I'm not even going to go into the whole fact of what porn,
is brought to you by
what porn has done for the entertainment industry. Like you know about the whole.
But see, this is the thing: is it a viable option for them to think about?
Yeah,
With all the
money.
free content out there.
Yeah, it's called money. Like if
So
Netflix
if they offered $5 a month,
yeah
and you or
on top of my subscription,
on top of your subscription,
Yep.
and you get access to their porn library.
Yep. Yeah, and I'm not the only one. There's 6 billion, half of that's men, whatever. People are getting that, man. How about you? Like you're a sports guy. You love sports. What do you? How do you watch your sports right now? How do you consume it?
I watch it from Reddit.
Is that really what you do?
Yeah.
Oh wow, man.
It depends what it is.
Reddit, you go and find a stream. So all the Maple Leafs games, like I don't have a TV package.
Right.
So when I want to watch it live, you go to Reddit, you find a stream, people up and downvote them, and you find the best one. I tried using like my Firebox thing, that wasn't really work. It uses the same thing, but like the thing doesn't work. So like you can do that, or you can get even like Sportsnet.
So you
has
do links, or the app.
Yeah, Sportsnet has a thing like if you have a cable thing, it's free, or like if you have a Rogers package, you can get like
I don't know.
I
Yeah.
have cable. I use like they have an app, so like if I'm away from the house, you know what I mean. Like if I'm at home, even then I'll like if for whatever reason I can't use like the TVs or whatever. Like I'll
How
be
much you pay
watching.
for cable, by the way? Like how much is cable? Because I haven't done cable in maybe about 5 years.
I basically get every channel.
You've never paid for cable before, have you? You never like had you just
I don't get like HBO and stuff. Like I don't have HBO, but I get everything else basically for $73. And then I get unlimited internet for $62.
Oh, okay.
100 speed. So like I'm all in for like 130. But I get everything, but it's funny, I don't watch anything, and then it's like, but I like to watch it on my TV. Like I like conventional, like I like knowing the game's on, it's on this channel, whatever. Like I don't mind streaming it, but I find like if anything goes on with the internet, I'm screwed.
So that's more of an internet provider.
Like
thing.
sports is a live thing, man. It's not like, okay, well, internet went out or it's choppy or something. You know what? Digitized, it looks fucking shit. I'll check it. I'll watch this show later. I'll watch this movie later. Like I'll just hit pause for a while. A sport, like that's it. It's on right now. Like I want to know. Like I can watch the J game live now. Like I want to know. I can watch this sport now. Like and I find I don't like watching on my computer.
I would.
Yeah, no, some people do. Like some people watch on their tablets or whatever. I'm like, I don't personally like to view movies like that. I don't like to watch TV like that. I definitely don't like watching sports like that. I will, and I have in a pinch, like at work or I'm out, and it's like, well, what the fuck's the score?
Yeah,
especially in a playoff situation, I'm all in. I'm looking at who's got reception, who's got unlimited internet.
Right. Well, I like. I used to use my like iPad to like have the HDMI adapter.
I just don't like the screen size. Like it's
I just put my adapter into the TV and I can watch like Hockey Night in Canada.
But it's still internet dependent.
Yeah, no. The problem I always had was like it still times out. Like
and
there you go. So you're watching a game and you're like something is happening and you're like and it just like stops. And you got to go to your thing and
I'm
press
not
play
putting up
again.
with that. Yeah, I'm not.
So like, but it happens enough. You're just like, oh
no, and that's a big problem for me.
It's weird though
because you know what? It's going to be that moment, and you're going to be like, what?
No. But I found the streams work pretty well on my computer, and my computer is a big enough screen where I can watch.
Yeah,
we were really rambling here.
Anyways, I want to just get a closing statement of things. So just to bring it back. Favorite video game, Kirk. Last thing. Favorite video game, Super Mario?
Super Mario Brothers 3.
Murray.
Locked in.
Favorite video game?
I don't know.
Just pick one that's like you feel was your favorite.
Call of Duty Black Ops 2.
Black Ops 2. Oh, yeah, mine was Grand Theft Auto 5 and Khalid, being the young guy, what's the hip game?
I don't know.
Your favorite game of all
I wasn't
time?
really into the hip game, but my favorite game for like PC would probably be Maple Story.
Maple Story. Okay,
No.
fair enough.
Don't judge, but
No. Listen, man.
I don't think I've ever heard of that game.
That's the original Game Boy version of Tetris.
Right.
Dota.
What if it was console? Crash Bandicoot.
Okay, I was into that.
Crash Bandicoot.
Okay, and
Can I say Crash Bandicoot? Sorry,
Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot fucking sucks, man.
okay, and lastly, or actually,
Throw it down.
Another
Another
one.
that jumping shit.
hey, Kirk,
Play those new ones though. Like you're like, how did we do this on PlayStation? It
He
was like
doesn't have
the
a
worst.
mic to.
I know.
It's the worst mechanism for jumping. Like look at this fucking.
Kirk,
I don't
of all the movies coming out that you know of, that you hear of, Kirk,
Yes.
what movie are you excited for? That's on your radar. What are you like? Ooh, I can't believe that's coming out. Or do you even
did
care?
Swiss Army Man already come out? That was last year.
I don't know.
That was one where what's his name? Paul Dano rides Daniel Radcliffe, the dead guy, as like a raft.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. Or I've seen the trailer.
He's just, yeah. No, that was last year.
That's last year. So there's no movie that you're excited about.
Not well. Tell me some
Did you just
movies.
name a movie that's been out for a year?
I haven't seen it yet, so I'm still excited to see it. I'm still excited to see it if I see it. Or like The Lobster.
Space Jam 2 with LeBron James.
Nah, pass.
I'm joking. I don't know if that might be in the works.
No, and I'm all over that if that comes out. I'm all over that.
There's nothing on your radar that you.
Just tell me some movies, and then maybe I'll let you know.
Anything with Arnold Schwarzenegger or Stallone?
No.
Anything with any action movie?
Any movie.
Any movie. Do you like any movie?
I don't know.
Okay, Kirk is not a movie guy. All right,
Is that you guys see Get Out? It's pretty good.
It came out 2 years ago.
2 years ago?
Let's go. I'm still planning to see that.
Oh, they're talking about a sequel, Get Out 2.
Remember how I was starting to play that, and it turned out to be It? I didn't really want to watch the new It.
Yeah.
That was just like whatever.
Okay.
I want to watch Get Out.
Well, they're going to make another one.
There we
Better
go.
start watching the first
So
one.
get on that. Murray, which movie's exciting? Which one do you think is going to be you want to see next?
I don't know about next. Like I don't know what's immediately like launching, but like movies I know they're making that I'm anticipating.
Yes, your most.
There's a few, but like I'll say so. Like obviously, Infinity War.
Of course,
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
obviously, I want to see that.
Yeah.
I hope they make another Superman movie.
Eventually,
I'd like to see another Superman movie. I want to see Wonder Woman.
of course. Yeah.
1984. I want to see that. Well, yeah, these are the superhero. What did we already say? Bad Boys 3.
Right.
That's coming. We're off a bit, but I'm very much wanting to see that because that'll close it out. And the other one of the other ones is Bill and Ted. Bill and Ted 3.
Oh no, I know mine. It's the Black KK Klansman.
That's already out.
No, it's coming out this year.
It's out.
It's already out. Just came out
Oh, it just came out like this weekend.
this weekend. Yeah, we can
Okay.
actually watch it. But
I'm gonna go watch that, guys.
okay, there we go.
So the Bill and Ted with Keanu Reeves,
Of course.
because I think it'll be cool to see him go back to that. Many years later,
yeah,
like 20 years, 30 years, something like
time's
that.
just a number, man.
Something crazy.
just stealing it from the other guy who hasn't a job in 20 years.
The other guy apparently is a director
Oh, really?
or a writer or something, and is actually successful. And they're just like, all right, let's just do this. Our fans want it, so let's do it.
Yeah.
And the Quentin Tarantino Star Trek movie.
Wow, is that actually happening?
Yeah.
That I would actually check that out. Like I would actually check that out. That's something that I'm. Quentin and that
Yep.
I'm fucking watching that. I'm just for dialogue purpose alone.
Yeah, Quentin Tarantino.
From a dialogue
apparently,
point
yeah.
of view.
Oh, he's writing it, not directing.
Listen, if
It's his
Quentin-
idea. He's not writing it fully, but he's like behind the scenes. Like this is what needs to be in it and story points. And then he's going to direct it.
It's like, hey, Spock. You know what they call a Big Mac on what's a planet? Raven 4?
Whatever.
But yeah. Anyways, Khalid, as a young man, as a young kid, what are the kids excited to see? What's your favorite movie coming up?
What's the under 25 group looking forward to?
I don't know if that was a
But you find a kid and go ask that kid, Kevin.
kind of milkshake, but it was pretty fucking good.
Yeah, Khalid. What movie are you excited to
Are
see?
there any Weed
I'm
Hustle
excited
movies?
for any of pretty much any of the Marvel movies. You know, Infinity War for sure, 100%.
Yeah.
The new Creed movie that's coming out.
Creed 2, definitely seen that.
100%. And I'm hearing rumors, but I want to see for this to happen. But a Rush Hour. I heard a little bit, and I'm like, I have high hopes for it.
I'll see it, but until all that, but yeah.
Oh no, you know what?
What else?
That Predator movie coming out.
Oh yeah, I forgot about it. Yeah, I gotta see that.
Next level. They have some evolved Predator in it.
Yeah, I want to see
movies
that
are always
too.
good.
And that one actually takes place. It's a direct sequel after the second movie.
Yeah,
Okay.
So
Venom?
all the other Predator movies are done.
Venom.
Yeah.
Venom is a must. I don't know about you guys, but
Venom, yeah, but it's not for me. It's not
day
a
one.
Yeah.
for me. It's not a day one thing.
Yeah. Tom Hardy, I
Day one
love. For me, right now, the one that came on my radar that I am gonna see fucking day one is Top Gun 2. Top Gun 2. He already started filming. I fucking love the first one.
Well, obviously, I'm gonna watch that.
Because obviously, I knew there was going to be superhero movies.
You know what?
Going to be another one.
Top Gun. See, this is a movie 30 years after.
It's a lot of fucking time.
Full 32 years later, something like that. So, you know what? Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one.
The thing is, I knew there was going to be another Terminator. I know there's going to be another Bad Boys.
That's a big one.
That's the thing, right? But the thing is, they've been talking for a long while. And that's the thing. I love it when it's a long wait and you finally see it and you hope and you pray to God they do it right, because most of the time it doesn't work out, man. I mean, Anchorman was a wait, and there's been a couple movies along the years where, the wait.
He generally doesn't do sequels.
And he doesn't.
So this is the thing that, and that's part of what I heard is that he didn't want to do a sequel.
Yeah.
Because Tom Cruise with Top Gun. So.
No, Tom Cruise does sequels. You're talking about Ridley Scott. Tom Cruise Mission Impossible.
Oh, yeah. Ridley Scott. So, from what I've heard is that, what other sequels other than Mission Impossible does Tom Cruise do?
Mission Impossible 3.
I think Tropic Thunder. No, sorry, what's the other?
I thought I read where the only reason he did the Mission Impossibles is because he has such a good time or whatever. Yeah. But he purposely takes roles in other movies that. Those movies can't be sequels.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know what I mean? He makes movies where it's you can't have another one. Except that he took The Mummy. I think they were going to do sequels.
I think he knew that one was going to be a flop. Anyways, I'm excited for those movies, games, and all that stuff. I'm going to wrap this up. If there's a movie or game that you like, let us know on the Other Guys podcast. I'm going to wrap this up.
And why do you like it? And why do you like us?
Any girls that heard
let us know.
They're going to be like, wow.
Rate and subscribe.
Yeah.
Share with all your hot friends.
I don't know, man. I'd like to get the female's perspective on this video game.
What's your favorite game, ladies?
And let me
what kind
know.
of games you like to play?
Yeah.
Let me know.
Let me know if you're a Star Trek or Star Wars kind of person.
And why.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball.
Or Dragon Ball. Anyways, that's the Other Guys podcast. Like, comment, subscribe. Later. Peace out.
Peace.
Bye.